You ready, all set?
Ready when you are.
Call the meeting to order. It's 8:04. Richard?
Here.
Joe? And Lester here that make it a quorum. Krista is not here right now. She said she's coming, but she's not here and Felix is not here. Proof of notice?
It's your page, first page.
Okay. And approval of minutes?
Those minutes were the ones from the last meeting that we make the corrections that you requested. If you're going to go over them again.
Okay, what was the specific correction?
One of them
The
was...
first one, let's say this.
No, the first one was right.
Okay.
Correct. The corrections were made on the Tuesday, May the 23rd. That was one of the corrections made. When it comes to new business,
Hold up, what was the specific? So the March was,
the
okay,
table, remember, you asked to
the March.
March. That was the one that you take, we have written down that it was approved, but we actually was put on the table. Wait a minute.
You have March 21st.
First?
21st.
The correction was on, there was a mistake, February the 21st, I have it here.
February
21st, which is supposed to be,
Okay, but I don't know, in my book I have up to January, I have March. And
okay, so that was my fault, I made a mistake here. And I was checking the book, but I made a mistake in February. I gotta retype that again. On 23rd, you motion, it was motion by Neto to table the minutes. The financial report, That's my fault, I'm sorry, I apologize about that.
Okay,
I'll make the corrections and I'll bring it to you next time.
what about March 21st?
March 21st. Following that, we went into the manager report, and then in no business, that's when you discussed with the
Oh, okay, no, this, the May 23rd,
May,
May 23rd, and June.
June,
Okay.
May 23rd.
So May 23rd, you said there was a correction of them?
Yes, and then part of the new business, it stated that swimming, fishing, and boating was going to be allowed in the lake. But I forgot to put the word "at your own risk" on the sign, so that will be included in the sign that I'm having made once approved.
Okay, so that, okay. Okay, we all have a chance to review the minutes for today?
Today,
June
no,
20.
today's minutes,
June
yeah.
20.
June 20, that will be the meeting for tonight, the one we're going to be reviewing.
Joe, Richie,
I already read.
any concern?
We tabled the financial for this month,
No, but
so we could look at it this month.
do you have any concern? Thank you. I make a motion to approve the minutes. Been properly second by Joe. Any question? All those in favor? So moved.
Okay.
Financial report. Okay, yeah. And what was the concern the last meeting?
Concerns of the last meeting were the assessment income when it came to the actual budget, to the current one that we're having. I'm afraid I was not able to get that clear. It is on my list to do now. It is on the list that I need to do, which I'll be doing it, because I also have a few questions and concerns about it. So, having said that, this is,
Well, I still have questions on this.
go ahead.
Why do we still have $47,000 due to our reserves?
Okay, what, the
Are we
answer?
gonna put that back in?
Yeah, the answer to that will be that, it is my understanding that when they first agreed to do the reserve, I believe it was requested that we needed an email or something from you guys approving that we can transfer the money from the regular account to the reserve. As I looked into it this couple of weeks ago, that has not been done. My question to you and the directors is, can I just go ahead and send an email approving that the reserve to be transferred on a monthly basis without any request from the directors?
The reserve
Uh,
fund wants to serve.
The reserve supposed to be
They're
transferred.
just supposed to
It's
go.
Automatic, remember that was part of the.
That's supposed to
It was
go-
part of the conversation, I agree
No,
with you.
no. It's part of the budget.
Yes, I
That
agree.
was approved, so that has been approved already, so, you know, what happened, is we discussed what happened, so we know what happened.
Yeah, we needed to borrow money at one time because of, for our general,
Yeah.
when we were doing our streets, so that's been a long time ago. All the money that we owe back to the reserves, we should, if we don't have enough money in our operating account to pay it all back, we should be paying it back monthly back
Monthly
into
basics.
the reserve account for the different parts of the budget.
Okay.
So we don't have, this is, hasn't gone down at all.
No, it will go down now once we,
Come to the full.
once I send the
Yeah, I'm
email
not-
stating
I'm
that.
not saying you all need to make a decision whether you just want to take the whole $46,000 and put it back into different parts of the reserve account for the different specified things all at one time, or do it little by little. It depends on how much money we have in the account and how much we're going to have to be laying out according to the budget for the rest of the year, right?
Right.
Am I talking right? Correct? Okay.
He approved of it today. We're getting better here, man.
Okay, that was my suggestion.
All right, so we agree that we're gonna look into the budget.
And he couldn't answer why, we couldn't figure out why, what did he ask?
That was the
That we were negative?
first line. No, the answer to that was that at the time when they sent us that budget, that financial, there were 3 checks that came in. Were the 3 checks that came in, and actually there was a credit in the account, and that's why the abnormality in that account at the moment. Right here, I got it. All right, bear with me, guys, because I've been running and going through it, and this should.
We'll take it easy, go to.
No, I have the answer for you. So I went to get it. Questions?
This is an easy thing, just go to general maintenance and repair, which is 09110. It says current period budget, no?
Zero?
No.
Where are you?
I'm on Marbella Park Homes Income and Expense Statement, right here. It's on the to answer his question too from that. Why?
Which line is?
First,
0910?
0910. It says that for the current budget period, we've actually spent $2,371.
No, $2,371.10.
Actual.
Actually.
We were budgeted for $2,083.
Right,
We overspent $287.
with 77 cents.
But for the year to date, it says we've spent $40,000 and we were budgeted for 25.
Right. And that was the couple of checks that came in, which I have the copies with me. I don't know where I put it, I'll be honest with you. I had it with me. In fact, once we go over the meeting, I'm gonna check back there, or I left it back there.
But we put in
Because we
maintenance
came
and
in
repair,
with 3 credits.
but we put in maintenance and repair, we put in the, what do you call it, the playground in there and those things, are we putting that in maintenance and repair? Because that's not maintenance and repair, those are, those are fixed assets.
Exactly, that's where the playground should be going into a fixed
It
asset.
should be going to fixed assets, not into
Maintenance and
maintenance and
repair.
repair. Because we don't want to go over our budget by $15,000. If we went over our budget by $2,000, it's okay. But by $15,000, if you take it out and put it into fixed assets, we're not over our
We're
budget.
not gonna be able to, I understand that point.
And it was the same thing you had last time, and we had a negative. I don't know how we had that, but at least this time it makes sense.
Well, what happened with that negative was that we had 2 checks that came in that, when I went over to the office, the account department showed them to me. 2 checks that were never cashed from a couple, 2 companies. And I have the proof for you.
We're not going to ask you about the budget yet, right?
The one?
Okay. Look, I'm finished with the financial report, thank you.
You have any questions?
Any questions, Joe?
I'm good.
Yeah, for the alcohol system.
Okay. In reference to the financial report, I will make a motion to approve the financial report. Do I have a second?
I say.
Ms. Barbara, second by Richard. Any questions? All those in favor say aye. So moved.
Aye.
Question? Are we approving all the previous reports too, or just this one?
Okay, well, financial? Financial?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was thinking.
Oh.
I have something else in my mind.
It's not good sometimes.
I know, lack of alcohol.
Okay, manager report.
Okay. The manager report, it starts back on the property on 230 Northwest 83rd Court. We actually stopped the work on the roof because they have not been approved by the ACC. They actually came over after that. They gave us all the proper documentation that we needed. And Nestor actually signed the approval for the team.
Approved.
That's the house next. That's the house next. 2 houses from Nestor.
From my house. Two homes from my house. The second one.
We don't want that house, do we?
No.
No,
The ACC form.
They get approved ACC.
Okay, violation, we actually close at the moment, 5 hours.
So now he did,
Hmm?
now he got it approved.
Everything is okay. He brought all the paperwork that we needed. In fact, he did it actually in 2 days. I took it over to Ernesto's house and he approved of it. I had a discussion with the roofers because they were having
That's
problems.
fine.
No,
And
let
that
me
way-
finish.
Oh, okay. I thought we were fine.
No, what happened was we had an issue with the roofing company a couple of times. I went to speak with them and they were told that from now on, every time they came in, they needed to clean the house to the left of the property because they were dumping papers and all kinds of stuff on the lady's yard. The lady called me, I went over, her name is Sonia, she called me. I went over there, I spoke with the roofing company, and we haven't had any issue whatsoever. I also explained to the roofer company that once they start laying the tarp, they need to lay some type of either paper tarp on the lady's yard in order to avoid the burning of the grass or anything like that. So far, the only thing they have done as of today, they just painted the aluminum piece that they put in. No, not the fisheries, the aluminum thing that they put one where the paper ends and the roof and the walls begin. They put like aluminum strip there, and that's already painted and ready to go. Flashing, there you go. If you know it, why don't you tell me?
You told me not to interrupt.
All right, pool guys. Actually, I spoke with the owner from the pool. He explained that when they took over the pool, there were 2 feeders that they're not working. They temporarily loaned us 1 feeder, and that was the one that we had working at the time. As of now, we have the 2 brand new feeders that are already installed. We haven't had any issue whatsoever with the pool. The water in the pool has been clear. Not only that, people that have actually used the pool, I have asked them, how's the water, and they all tell me that it's doesn't smell like a lot of chlorine and bleach or anything like that. Also, what they did was, around the pool, the overflow of the pool, we were missing the little grills, and they replaced them. They replaced them all. When it came to the leak that we know we have a leak, but as per his advice, he thinks it's a very small leak, that what we need to do is just keep an eye on our water usage. And if it goes above of what normal is for us, then that's when we should consider having a leak test done. We also have an issue with the explosions over here, back here. Today there was a good one at about 11:45 in the afternoon, in the morning. That was a good one too. So for now, he said that we should wait. We also have to replace the second pump, which is the old pump that we used to have. The impeller on the pump went, and after he inspected the pump itself, we decided that it was better just to get a brand new pump, which is already up and running. That pump has a 1-year guarantee. The only thing pending on the pool right now is on our 3rd filter. The valves that we have there, they're the old metal valves, and they're completely frozen. So they're not able to backwash that filter properly. I told them to give me an estimate so we can go ahead and repair that. We also installed 2 new outlets, weatherproof outlets for the new feeders that we have, as the old ones were not weatherproof outlets. Okay, Elite United Service. It's already came to us. We have the surveys already, and I have them today. I received them today. We have 3 surveys. I requested a survey for the gate, and I requested a survey for each of the playgrounds that we're going to be using. As of now, I'm just waiting for one of the contractors that's going to come in tomorrow, and I'm going to provide him one of the surveys so he can give us a quote on to start getting ready the playgrounds, which is very important. Clubhouse, as you can see, we got 2 brand new doors and a finish. But eventually what I want to do is, I already spoke with Henry, and we're going to, that one there, which is the old door, we're going to have it sand down nicely, and we're going to paint all 3 doors. So that will be nice and uniform. And going back to the property.
Question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you know, but on 201 Street, they took that fence off all the way down, and we have the other houses' fences up, and they have like wires. I was just wondering when we're gonna put a new fence up.
I will need to check that. I really
Who
haven't.
took it down?
Henry took that.
They must know.
I will get to him tomorrow. Okay, the property on 19705, 83rd place.
What did you take it down for?
It was rotten and deteriorated. It was a safety issue.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't from the back side.
That's all. Isn't that cheaper than having it taken down? Go ahead.
Thank you. 18705 Northwest 83rd place. As you know, we had previous problem with our property when it came to the survey and when it came to his driveway. We sent all the information to the attorney. The
Who
attorney
is this?
19705 Northwest 83rd Place.
Where's the guy? Is this the one that we were,
That's the one that we had previous problem that we told one of the vehicles and he kept saying that it was on his property.
That is what.
The vehicle that totaled one of his vehicles.
Who's the attorney?
Miller.
Miller?
Melanie.
Hello?
Melanie. Oh. Okay, so anyway, after review from him, he looked at all the paperwork, and he basically informed us that his particular driveway goes all the way to the street. Therefore, that is his property and no cars can be sold from that area.
all of our driveways?
At the same time,
The street.
No, that, well, it's not that one of the drive, it's that one of the side, that's, this is like your side there that goes to, that you have the trucks, that's what we do.
That's the house I'm telling you, the one over there that we went to the attorney's office about?
No, that one's,
Oh, okay.
next time I rush the name, sorry.
But,
I go by address.
you talking about, 196. That's a different case.
okay, you have to look to see.
Richard, I got a quick question, because I have the kids home alone. I know it's gonna take a while. We met around April, May, early May, late April. There was a plan gonna be put in place to let both in and out of the association. And that's gone on for now 5 months.
Because the attorney keeps telling us that we can't do, I had a whole form made up, we did the whole thing, and the attorney keeps saying we can't do it.
What is he talking about?
To allow boats to come in for
See,
a
there's
certain
an
amount of
issue,
time.
because in our association document, it says you're allowed to bring trailers, boats.
We've been through
RVs,
this, we've
and
been
no
through
problem.
this, I don't want to go through this again. No,
Hang on, let me come. We've been through that.
hang on.
We've been, they're in the paperwork, bylaws, they're allowed to come in,
Okay.
okay? Somebody went to
We're out of
security and said they're not allowing them in.
Excuse me, we need to go in order here. No, I'll talk to you, you call me.
It's
and I'll-
gone 5 months now and nothing
I
has
told
gone
the attorney
on.
said we can't do what we want.
But that's not a satisfactory
Well,
action.
we can't talk about this now. You gotta wait. Wait.
You wanna wait till the end of
I've
the
been
meeting?
waiting for 5 months.
Okay, there's a time for
Okay,
this. It
if
says
you wanna wait till the end of the meeting, then you can express your
I
opinion.
waited last time, the meeting,
Okay.
nothing got done.
Well, you can wait now, and we can help you and get this matter solved. We have a few issues that we need to discuss.
If I wait, are we gonna get this solved?
Not solved, but we're gonna try to answer your question the quickest possible way that we can.
The issue that we have is, right now, we need to work to ask that question at the time that we know it's on the agenda, that's why you have extra agenda there. So, I mean, not to be, you have a question, we can answer it at that time. Yes, but right now, you're
But I
going
mean, you see, what we keep coming to is these issues keep coming up.
Okay, look,
I mean, you can bang your dust all you want.
let's do this, hang on,
If you
time
guys-
out, hey, let me
If you guys
finish.
don't resolve issues that come up, and then make up
We're not-
rules as we
we're not
go,
there
then
yet.
we're not following
We're
orders.
not there yet.
Let me explain something. We do have an agenda that we need to go through, and if you look at the end of the agenda, it's open for the floor. So, we understand that you have your child in the car or your home, and we will try to help you. We'll try to go over the agenda, and then afterwards you can bring up whatever it is, and we can try to find an answer for you. Okay, what did we end? We end up with a property on the attorney.
Yes.
Okay, so, having said that, and I also spoke with security, because we do have an issue with those properties. I spoke with security, and security I also told security that they're not allowed to tow any vehicle on that particular property. And that's what we are right now. Okay, any questions on that
Okay.
property?
The toll, that's been only part of the car.
It is, you know,
So we can't say that we're not getting told.
No. The way it works is, as long as he parks within his driveway, and his car or bumper or anything, it's not on the street, we can do it. Now, if he parks part of his car on the street, then yes, we're allowed to tow it.
Okay, but, so we have not towed it illegally.
No,
So-
okay, eventually he kept saying that it was towed illegally. I told him to send me pictures to see if we have or we haven't. He never provided me pictures with it.
So that's dead, that's dead. So
That's
anyway, I think the guidance in reference to security is if you have one wheel on your property or two wheels, we would place two stickers. The second sticker will say, the third time we will tow it. Okay? Yes, because if they have like one or two wheels on the property and they own lot, you know, we want to give everybody benefit of the doubt with those kind of things.
Right.
In that year, we're not making money off the tour.
Right.
But if it's abused, the abuse come with the third. If you come up to sit at the third time and they're doing the same thing, they can have three wheels on their property and one on the street, is gone. Because they're supposed to be on the street.
I'll make the
If
corrections here and I'll talk
if
to
they're
security.
caught 3 times, they've done it 50.
That's why I said it there. So it's a break.
Really? They've done it 50 if they're caught 3 times. We're not out there.
Basically what I did, I asked him to show me pictures of the previous vehicle, he was not able to provide me the one with ones.
Okay.
But you might want to clear that with security, not him only, this is just general.
I would definitely, when I spoke with security, I explained it to them. As long as the vehicle is 100% on the driveway, you can't touch it. But if the bumper alone is on the street, you can I said to him, I don't know you wanted to give him,
Well, they know they're probable, so.
Right,
They have to warn them.
But it's one, yes, you warning them twice, I mean,
Okay.
the third time.
so we'll give him a little sticky saying, you know, your vehicle's back on the property, second time, and the third time, goodbye, Charlie.
The second sticker would say, if we catch you the third time, you go. And then we document that those things, the stickers, when they happen, because when we put it the third time, then they can jump out and say, no, you never tell me the first and
They
second
should
time.
take pictures.
Yes, they're
They
supposed to
do,
be taken.
security does. When they tow a vehicle, they do. So, give him.
I know when they do that when they put place the stickers also.
Yes, sir?
So they do that when they place the stickers also, like, take a picture.
Yeah. Once they put that sticker on the rear passenger side window, that's when they take a picture of it and will send us the,
I would be mad if we stick it on that to the box.
where you wanna put it, Richard? Where you wanna put it? You get fined for that. We'll be in trouble. Alright, to the open permit with the fence back here.
I talked about this last time we were here about this thing. Why don't we just take that whole fence down? No. Call the company to come and inspect the property with no fence, and then get a new fence company and come out and put it back up.
And the answer is,
That's the plan.
Huh?
That's the plan.
That's the plan. So why are we going through this?
we're going through this because what we're trying to do is close the open permit that we have.
Yeah, we need to get that out.
Well, actually, what happened with the open permit was that we get it open was here. as
I
soon as
heard
that's-
that part. That didn't give
Okay.
any help.
After that,
That's
he
what
said that he was not able to close those permits,
I know that.
but we don't have the shops.
That's why we came to take it out.
So, Richard,
Okay, we're finished your report.
okay. So having said that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a quote from two fences company, and the deal will be for them to remove the fence and to get the proper permits, and at the same time, they will need to close that open permit that we have.
Good.
Okay? Top shoulder irrigation. I spoke to the supervisor that were here the other day, because I asked
That's
him.
2,100, Northwest 83rd place.
What?
You
Skip,
skipped,
you're driving me crazy, Richard, with your
20.
Okay, 20100 Northwest 83rd Place. That's, again, it's with the attorney Melanie. He sent out to the previous owner, he sent out the letter to intend to collect the money owed to the association for the repairs done to the property prior to the sale. He sent us a letter, he was gonna send them a letter, so at the moment we are waiting to see what we gonna hear from them. Anything else you have to say?
I don't really understand that, but okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. All right, top shell irrigation. I spoke to the supervisor. I asked him if we have a lot of broken sprinklers and things like that. He basically told me nothing out of normal. I did explain to him that we had AT&T doing installation of the fiber optic cables. That in the event we have more than our normal broken sprinklers or lines, to please let me know, because I do have all the information where they're going to be digging, and the trucks are coming in and out, because if that's the case, we could always charge them.
Who authorized you to do any work on the property? Who authorized you to?
They sent all the paperwork, I have the paperwork with me, everything is in order.
Well, who authorized?
You don't have copies.
You don't have to.
They have.
No. Remember, we signed off Comcast.
That's between Comcast and them, leave it alone. Comcast can go and sue them if they want to. Leave it alone. Had nothing to do with us.
That's who you are.
They're
If
just,
AT&T provides us all the paperwork, the information, the insurance that they're going to be doing, the work is going to be doing, most of the work is going to be done by MassTech. I already have their information, their contact information of the lady that I need to call her and anything should happen. Violation fees, again, we're going back to the violation fee.
I'm sorry, irrigation. Is it working?
Is it working? Yes, it's 100% working.
So, okay. What, is it working at the time frame? Because I don't see.
Yes, it is working at the time frame. They were here Wednesday and they reset the timers and everything. And according to the gentleman that was here, everything was off and running normally. Okay? The violations, you already know, we got a letter from the attorney. We need to manage the violations the way it says in our conduct docs, which the first violation should go with a fine of your first HO payment. Second violation is the 2 payments for the HO, and the third violation is the third payment for the HO.
The correction has been done, no one is done. She sent me the report on Wednesday, but I was out of town. So we are in the process of reviewing everything to make sure everything's fine. We're gonna send you a copy of the letter so you can approve it and move on.
Attorney's report, unfortunately, I don't have one for you gentlemen. I tried getting one, but the attorney said that he was out and he was gonna try to have one as soon as possible. When it comes to the projects, light bulbs 10, 9, and 20, where the light bulbs were changed, all 3 male rooms or gazebos were painted, the floors were painted as per the attorney's report. Wow, that's it.
no, I said, what report? You said the attorney's report?
They sent us a report on how to properly do the floors in order to avoid people from slipping and,
Okay.
okay? Also at the guardhouse, we had to change a couple of light switches, it was already done. The clubhouse area here, we repaired and cleaned some of the lights out that were broken. The golf carts were properly maintained. The pool pump area back there is completely clean the way it should be, and the old feeders were removed and were thrown away. Playground. We finally got the service for the playground, so I already contacted the general contractor who's going to supposedly be here tomorrow, the day after, for him to start giving a quote on how much you need to do or prepare the area for the playgrounds itself. We're going to do 2 playgrounds. One right by your house, and one on this side over here.
I thought we were only doing one for now.
How was it like?
What did we change?
Yeah, because months passed and we never got it.
What?
The plan was to do one in February, and the other one about this time of the year, because by this time we get the money. But we have the money.
I don't want to do both.
Oh, you don't want to do
let's go one in and see how it goes.
That's what the most of us do.
Oh, okay, so then there's nothing wrong with it.
I got the two surveys anyway. The idea, Richard, the way I'm gonna work it is this way. We're gonna do playground number one, which is right across from you or in front of your house.
I want to do that one first.
No, we're gonna do yours first. And then after that, if I feel, or you guys feel that he's doing what he's supposed to be doing and everything is done within a timely manner, and we have no issues whatsoever, then he will go over to the second one. In the event that we do have issues, then at that time we will consider another company.
If you start over there, the little kids are playing over there first. Instead of
I know, you know, you should go over there, right? You should do a tennis court over there. Not a tennis, a basketball court.
It would be good, it's big enough.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, we're gonna go back to the lake. I contacted the insurance company. In order for the insurance company feels that if we're gonna, did I jump something? The gates, it's Richard's fault, I'm telling you. All right, we already have the survey.
Well, we shouldn't have contacted the insurance company.
The reason that I did Richard is
You
because
should have contacted them, of course if you contact them, they're gonna tell you they want you to pay more money. And that's the whole thing with an insurance company. Any insurance company that you call up and you say, hey look, I just bought a new car, and I'm gonna add in one of those super dome motors on the top of it. And sure, they're gonna say, oh yeah, you're gonna have to pay more money. If you just leave the super dome that you put on top of the car to get more profit, and you crash the car, they're gonna pay you your insurance. If you ask them if it's gonna cost more, they're gonna tell you, yes, for sure, 100%. I know. 100%.
So if you don't tell them, something
Yes, the insurance company, a different question, Call the insurance company back, now that you called them and they want to charge $1,000 a year. Call them and say, since we have the signs up that says there can be no swimming, no boating, and no fishing, do we still have to pay the $1,000?
no, there's swimming, boating, and fishing allowed at your own risk.
Huh?
That's what I told the insurance company.
Okay,
The insurance company,
now tell them we're going to leave a sign up that says no boating, swimming, or fishing. Now, we're going to pay $1,000, and they're going to tell you yes.
no,
We'll call them and ask them. Then
I
we'll
did.
And then we'll just leave the sign up.
wait a minute. The reason that they're gonna charge us $1,000
And we won't
a
change the
year.
sign. We won't change the sign, then we'll just leave the sign the way it is. Nobody reads it anyway, and everybody ignores it anyway, so make a difference. No? I'm saying, if they told you that if we change the sign to at your own risk, it's gonna cost $1,000 more a year, call them back and say, we're not changing the sign to your own risk. We're gonna leave the sign up that they can't use it.
Just like when we decided not to do anything.
Okay, that's a good idea. You should have put a motion on it.
You need to motion the floor to cancel the idea.
What's the original sign?
All right,
No swimming.
the reason, the signs that you have now, it says no swimming, no boating, whatever allowed. In one of the previous meetings, it was brought to the table that they wanted people to be able to use the lake to swim, to use boats, as long as they're not power boats, and fishing also will be, and fishing will be also allowed. The sign that I had made, it would say fishing, boating, no water boats, and swimming will be allowed, and it would say allowed at your own risk. That's what the sign will say.
If that's gonna cost us $1,000 a year,
That's what I'm saying.
why not leave it as is?
That's what I just said. Now I'm gonna make a motion. I make a motion.
Hold on, Richard. But the reason I'm saying this is the fact that we know that there are some
We just
serious
did it.
critters inside the lake. Piranhas.
There's no, it's
Really?
from
There's
Ron
no
Family.
piranha. That's a perch.
It looks
It's not a
just like a
piranha.
piranha.
It's a perch.
With human teeth.
Anyway, let's do this.
Let me make a
Motion.
motion. Let me make a motion. I make a motion that you call the insurance company, tell them we're gonna leave the signs the way they are, and the association in particular is not giving any permission to anybody to do anything, so don't charge us $1,000. Can I get a second to that motion?
So there's gonna be
I don't
no,
know,
you're not,
is that
no one's
what y'all-
allowed to fish
No
there.
changes.
That's not what he said.
No, I did not say that. I said to call the company and tell them that we're not gonna change the sign, we're gonna leave the signs the way they are with no boating, no fishing.
So everything will stay the same.
The signs will stay the same. No, we're not gonna change the signs, and then ask them what they're gonna do about that $1,000.
You just need to make a motion, and that's it. You don't need to
That's
call
what I
it, you don't need to call insurance, and you don't need to put a motion like that, but you don't need to call insurance, because insurance said, only this out.
It's changes.
Okay, then it's,
So,
can I make a
but
motion, we
the-
don't change the signs?
No, you make a motion that we're not gonna change the sign.
We're not changing the sign, that's all.
Second,
Motion says.
second, second.
So in other words, you're reversing your argument in the first place.
No, my argument is gonna stay the same, because any of the neighbors can use, they have and they will continue to use the lake.
A motion been made by Richard
One point,
to maintain
do not put it in writing that people are going to do it.
The what?
Do not put it in writing. No
Oh,
memo
no.
saying, do not enforce it.
No, of course not. No, you don't wanna go there.
we have a motion on the table that Richard had, motion that
To leave the signs alone.
need not to change the sign.
I totally agree with that.
It's been seconded by Crystal.
Is that?
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Y'all,
Any discussion?
All in favor?
all in favor?
Yes.
All right, that's a good.
So move.
Move.
I'd like to make another motion.
Go ahead.
Before anybody calls any insurance company for any reason in the future, call me first.
Will do.
I'd like a second.
I'll second it for you.
Really, I'd like a second.
Okay, that makes sense.
All in favor?
Will do. I have a question. It was my understanding that you're bouncing houses.
Listen, in reference to the insurance, that's your concern. Then I love to call it, that is your job to make sure to get that kind of, that is their job, the management job, to make sure they inform us if the insurance increase or not, because it's something we really want to do.
Okay, well,
By they calling
I don't want
you,
them to talk to us before.
no, by they calling you, and you telling the manager, don't buy the insurance because this and this, your attorney opinion, Mr. Attorney, that's not gonna work. None of us are supposed to stop the management company from doing the job.
No, we're not
And
gonna
that's
stop
not-
them, we want to talk about it before they do their job.
Not if it have to do with anything we want.
Anything that has to do with the insurance or the government is a problem as soon as you
Yeah,
talk to them.
but we,
The moment you talk to them is a problem.
but it's their responsibility.
And it costs money to our neighbors that we shouldn't have to spend.
It's their responsibility to make sure that whenever we are talking about some liability that comes to the community, is something that needs to be investigated. It don't mean, whatever they investigate don't mean that we can do or not, but it's always good to present to the, because before y'all approve this thing in May, or whenever it was in March, that question about the insurance did not came up. I didn't bring it up, no one of us bring it up because we wasn't thinking about that. It is important that we are fully knowledgeable on whatever we can do in the future for us to make proper decisions.
But Ernesto, here's what I'm saying. Every few years, maybe every year, every time a new underwriter writes a policy for our property, they send an inspector out to our property and inspect the whole property. The inspector does a complete report. I know about insurance, I've been doing this for 100 years. Now, they write a whole report about the property. If they wanted us, we've never had signs out there that said that before until just a few months ago. If they wanted us to put the signs, they would have told us. We should never put them in the first place. But okay, so we put the signs, so I want to change the signs because it's not according to our documents, the neighbors are allowed to use our lake. But let's go with leaving the signs alone. What I'm saying is once you call an insurance company or the federal government or the state government and ask them about anything that has to do with are they going to increase our taxes, our rates, or whatever, they are going to do it. 100% of the time. whether they should or not. They've already inspected, they've already done it. What I'm talking about is when we call them, we don't call them. That's what
I understand your point. You are talking about making decision without information. I'm not debating your point, and I want you to understand that. I'm not debating your point, but what I'm saying is that whatever is discussed, we need to have full information. And she didn't think about insurance. Joe, I didn't think, you didn't think about, and feed it to me. We don't know this thing, we go and change, and wait, something happened. For instance, something happened. And we went and changed, something happened. When something happened, you know what we want to do. We go into insurance. Insurance, the first thing insurance can say is, okay, well, we keep that back here.
They're the ones, okay. I'm not sure you're wrong, but okay.
I'm just saying that we
We'll
actually.
leave it alone. I'm just saying you don't call me.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
If the neighborhood wants to spend more money, the neighborhood can spend more money. I just think it's a waste to do it that way. And if nobody had called the insurance company to begin with and asked them any questions at all, there'd be no liability. Now that you called and asked a question, I think we need to go and ask the question now that if we don't change the signs, if they're not going to charge us any more money, and we need to ask the question because that's not what's going to happen. Then they're going to say, okay, you said no swimming, no boating, and no fishing in the lake, no, here on your form, no. And now you asked us if we changed it, and we told you it's going to cost $1,000, but next year they're just going to add the $1,000.
Just send it to us, copy us, and
Because I don't really care, no, but I don't think we should be paying an extra $1,000 for something completely useless. We've had it 27 years. The people have been using the lake any way they wanted. We never had signs up. In the beginning, we had no crocodiles. Beware, crocodile, no.
Should get one of those affordable ones and put them in there.
But we've never had signs up until we put the signs up, and now there's a problem.
Okay, no problem.
No, yeah, go back to Gates, the business one.
What do we have gates?
Well, we already got the survey. Having said that, I'm already working with two companies that were here before to give us properly the quote on how much the gate would be. I have several questions to you guys about the gate.
What gates are we doing now?
The entrance,
New arms?
guardhouse gates.
we have to.
Do a new.
Yeah, because I don't know if y'all know that it won't work and it goes.
Every time it rains, when it rains heavily, it doesn't
And
work.
those things are on the ground.
And it stops, yeah, the sensors, the problem is that we probably have bad sensors down
So
there.
we have to, regardless of what happened between now and next month, we have to make a decision to move forward to get that.
Right, the swinging gates.
Oh,
So the swinging gates,
right.
Yeah. I was looking at some of the
that
calls,
size would also do it.
I got it.
Well, we get, if they get, you know what? I know that Richard brought up the issue about this issue over here about making this side 24 hours on this side, no, not mine. But I was thinking just as they already gave a permit to upgrade something, but we are not doing nothing different but upgrading. So why would they, I don't know, that's big, but why would they say no to having this gate upgrade? Because your concern was that we was going to be 24 hours and then it's going back up. But right now we have a gate. And they didn't say nothing years back. I don't know what they did say now.
We don't have a gate though, we just have arms.
Okay.
But there's a difference, there's a difference in the flow for next time.
Yeah, but
Or do you think we're ever gonna get anywhere with the West?
right now I can't give you that answer, but what I'm saying to you is that by next month
just,
by next month, we just.
I think we should just do our own thing,
Yeah,
and
we just do.
Right.
we should just do our own thing, and.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yes, I have a few questions about the gate. My number one question is, I know it was told that you want to interpret swing gates, but those swing gates, you want them with the arch in the middle, at the entrance, or you just want them?
We put gates up or just look back, like what we have now?
No, Richard, I'm talking about the style of the gate.
The style of the gates are bar.
I know, but
But
nobody,
no, no, because the last time we discussed it with the East, they said that's what they didn't do. So
the
this will
swing,
be,
the swing.
no, with the swinging gate, but this will be 24 hours. In other words, what we have here, this is
This is
just
what we're
gonna
gonna have.
remain.
We need to get the thing where they're working properly, and then
That's
those posts,
Oh,
the
so we're gonna go
electricity.
with,
and
No, not, they're supposed to do that.
And the electricity.
we're not.
Right.
Oh, so we're just gonna update the, things?
They-
Oh my
they
God,
don't make
okay. Now I know exactly what we're doing. I was under the understanding that we were gonna do the swinging gates with the sensors and whatnot.
No, they don't wanna even have make an agreement with us, so better, if they wanna put gates up, fine. And we just have our security system.
Second question?
Bouncing house,
I don't want a bouncing house now.
the Richard. My question is, I just found out that you guys allow bouncing house here in the clubhouse, like there. Is there any liability? Would you like me to inquire about that?
The bouncing house have to bring their own liability insurance when they
I
come.
agree with you, and another way that we can avoid us having a issue or a claim against us is by telling whoever's gonna bring the bouncing house, they need to get what is called a, party.
Put us on the insurance, let me
They can put it, not only that, but if, there's an insurance called, event insurance. It's very inexpensive, and it's the responsibility of whoever is gonna be using the area here and the bouncing house. And it's not very expensive to them.
So it's gonna cost the resident money to not only rent the house, but to get the insurance.
But the issue that I have in this case is, what is our responsibility if someone were to get hurt? I mean, you have seen bouncing houses that are actually blown away with the kids inside.
Again, that's something that's not investigate.
Okay. So it's okay, Richard, for me to look into it?
Sure.
The insurance company, Richard?
No, not insurance company, look into the bouncing house companies.
When we, I mean, I have children, so I rent bounce houses a lot. When you rent them at a park, they have to have insurance.
Certificate of
Yeah.
insurance. they have.
And they provide you with a list of everyone that's allowed to come into the park. So I mean, I don't know.
Right, because those are,
This should not go through our major insurance, this should be,
that's true what she's saying, but those already are
Pre-registered.
registered already there. You know, if they already went through certain requirements to be able to participate in the program.
From what I've been able to find out, it's, I was told that some of the bouncing houses have been put on common area. Common area makes it our responsibility.
well, then just don't allow it anymore, period.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out.
If they allow the bouncing house that comes to our property and puts up a bouncing house on our property like they do every Christmas time, gives us an insurance policy that they're
Are you
liable.
gonna allow the bouncing house in common area or strictly here in the clubhouse?
If they provide us with, not us provide them, they provide us, with an insurance policy that they're have fully covered for liability insurance.
My question is, will it be allowed on the common area?
If
or
they
here?
provide an insurance policy to say that we're complete, we're,
Still our responsibility.
yeah, it's not our responsibility, it's their responsibility to provide the insurance. Only
So
when,
his question is if the van house is gonna be here in the pool area or in the common area, anywhere.
anywhere.
What about,
It's still
owner's
common
property?
No, your property, that's your
That's
problem.
your policy.
But also, that means that after you find that information out, we need to update the contract.
Yes, we we're also updating the ACC form, as I want to include our information in there as it's not. So we're gonna update that, and when it comes to the rental of the clubhouse, it will be something that we need to update also, and says that in the event that the bouncing houses or any kind of playground or play, whatever you wanna bring to the community, we need to have proof of insurance from the company who's bringing it, and the insurance has to be under my bail apartment. And that way, God forbid something were to happen, then we'll be covered,
Right.
right? Okay? Okay, now we're gonna open the floor.
You're all set.
I'll wait for a special meeting if you can do it with all of us. Because I want one to be told.
You can do it here, open floor.
Let me explain what happened, okay? I made a form on the computer to allow the boats and RVs to come into the neighborhood for 4 hours, like to give you a pass, so you can come in there. They sent that to the attorney's office, the attorney said, no, you can't do that.
Here's the issue. It's not on this paper that they're prohibited to come in and out. And actually on this paper says they're allowed.
Says they're not.
They're allowed if you can keep them in a garage. I mean,
They are.
They're allowed to come
If
in.
you can keep them in a
So
garage.
my thing is, you can't make a rule
You can't park.
and exempt some of the people from coming in and out.
Okay, what is exactly the issue that you have?
But my issue is I have my boat,
Okay, how big is your boat?
okay? My boat's 19 foot.
Okay, does it fit in your garage?
With the previous association, the previous property manager, the person that had your position, your predecessor, with the board that was here, agreed that my boat can be behind the yard gate because it wasn't being able to view from the outside. And they made that decision.
Do
Okay?
you have it in writing?
No, it's not in writing, it's in that video camera. It was done here.
Oh,
That decision was made here in this room.
okay. Did you get anything in writing from the board?
What board did that?
This board did that.
No,
Yes, it did.
I didn't.
Yes, it did.
I'm just
And
gonna
when we
go-
had the last meeting, you and I talked outside.
Yes, I did,
and you
I
said-
did that, and I made the form with
And you said, if I can't see the boat, I agree with you, Felipe, if I can't see the boat, then there shouldn't be an issue. The Miami-Dade law is, and this is unincorporated Miami-Dade, is if it's behind your fence line, it shouldn't be an issue,
Okay.
okay?
But
Now,
also,
here's the second issue. The second issue is, I can bring my boat in or out, but I have people constantly going through that gate that I'm seeing, that are bringing in jet skis, that are bringing in golf carts, that are bringing, and they're enjoying it with their family. I haven't been able to enjoy my asset all summer,
I'm gonna
because
ask
somebody
you-
decided,
No.
hey, they're not gonna come in and out.
No. If you check your common laws, there's a paragraph there that says, you can have a boat or a camper as long as it's in the garage. I don't see anything, because I read that one, because we have an issue, not only in this case with you.
I mean, the West
Please.
has them.
West is west, east is west.
It's the same.
I listen to, no.
Two different.
Let me finish explaining, and I listen to you, I understand where you're coming from. Now let me explain my side. By the conduct side you're holding, it clearly states that the boat has to be kept in the garage or the camper. They have to be kept inside the garage. It doesn't say anything that you can park it
It says
inside.
an enclosed garage,
Yes, an enclosed garage.
an enclosed garage.
And there is, as far as I remember, it doesn't say anything that you can keep it behind the gate as long as we can see. Now, my question to you is, does your boat fit in your garage?
My boat is not fit in my garage.
So then what is the issue?
No, the issue is, it was grandfathered in before,
By
by
who?
the previous board,
All right.
here in this
Okay,
table.
now my question to you would be, do you have anything in writing?
It was done on this camera.
Forget the camera, I'm asking you, do you have anything
I
in
didn't have
writing?
it.
Excuse me, sir, for a second, just to clarify that part. He's saying that it was done by the previous board, but this camera has only been here with this board.
Period, that's what I said, we didn't do that.
Yeah, so that camera could not have been here on
It
the previous
couldn't have
board.
been there for the
I
previous
don't
No, I'm just trying to find
Well,
out.
and the fact is, I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm fairly new here, so I don't know how long the camera has been up.
Only with this board.
Only with us.
Yeah, this was done in 2016, or 2015, when they decided to.
No, I'm just saying that you said it was the previous board, and what I'm saying is that this camera was not here with the previous board. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I take your point.
Well, we've only been here, since we came, we set a camera up, so you can go and look. go back as far as you want, because it's in the computer, isn't it? You
Correct.
can go back and find the
100%.
meeting that it was at, and it'll come right to your computer. Can you copy it?
Yes, you can.
You can copy it, and
So the previous property manager,
there's no previous property man. We have affinity management.
the previous property manager,
Infinity, whatever the name is.
okay, that was here with the board when we had the meeting, said, as long as you can't see it behind the fence, you can keep it here.
Okay,
And that was done here.
he did say that it was on camera,
Yeah.
so let's get that.
Now,
and bring it
now
to-
this is the issue, this has been there for 3 or 4 years now.
No, well,
And I mean,
when this
I wanna say that
There's no issue.
I wanna say
Okay,
that.
first of all, the only issue he have right now, question he have, is the one that the doc said.
It's the one.
The doc,
We call it
doc said.
choice.
Anything else that we have to discuss is not allowed for me to answer, because he does have a representation, attorney representation.
Oh,
So
if it
he
has-
needs-
there's nothing we can
That's
do
what
about it.
we're doing.
Listen, I'm trying to-
Ernesto,
Your thing is different, you can talk about that.
Okay.
I'm talking
I'm
about.
trying to
something-
resolve the issue here.
Yes, that's what
I'm trying to resolve the issue here.
We
I'm not
sent-
trying to cause
we
anybody
sent-
here any extra
We
money.
sent to Maloney a form to approve to let the boats in for a temporary basis.
I'm not talking about that, listen to what he
I
said.
know what he's saying, I don't want to talk about that.
Okay.
It's something I don't want to talk about, he can talk about that to the attorneys if he wants to. I wanted to solve his problem, so he could have his,
Okay, but you need to
You're
listen
talking about two
to
different
his,
things.
yes, because you need to listen to his problem. You're not listening to his problem. He's not dealing with your problem. He's dealing with keeping his boat on property. Your farm
well,
don't say
the only
that.
way you can keep your boat on a property is if it fits in your garage and your garage is closed. That's the only way you can keep it
Then
on
we're
your
gonna
property.
keep fighting, it's gonna cost money.
Okay.
I mean,
But,
I'm trying to resolve it with you.
But-
I
But
mean,
can you
but
get that?
we're exercising,
He said it was at the camera, or
we're
less.
exercising the grandfather rule because of how long it's been here
There's
already.
no such thing as grandfather.
Yes, there is.
No, there's no such thing as
Yes, there
grandfather.
is. Of course
We
there
had
is.
a board on our, here
Yes, there
for
is.
a long while.
It's just, it makes no sense.
No, Richard. He have a good point that he's saying that it's on the camera. It's been
That's
video.
it.
So,
just
let's not, let's drop that, because we just need to come up with that. His bid, he can come back as far as.
Right.
Once
Look for the
he,
video.
let's bring the
Look
bid.
for the video.
All the videos are available today.
Listen,
That's all.
yeah, let me look for the video and
The
bring it.
videos are available, all the videos are available.
Yeah,
All the
look
videos
for
are
it.
available.
Let's leave.
On top of the videos that are available, I'm trying to come with a conclusion with the board, so this doesn't have to progress into something more serious.
But once you get the video, it will be easier for
Excuse me, I'm
them.
sorry. You understand, I think we can resolve this issue here without it having to cost anybody any extra money.
I agree with you.
But you're gonna prove,
But you need to
you said the
understand
video
something.
exists, but you're gonna prove that it exists. How do we know it exists?
No. He
Well, you
already-
guys have
he-
videotapes.
He already said it exists. So let's allow
It's proven.
Louis to find information, bring it forward to us, and then we can move forward.
Exactly.
Let's,
Simple as that.
I'm just asking for a resolution, and I think it will be resolved much simpler if we all come to an agreement with my situation. Okay, I don't think it's fair to him, or to anybody that lives here, okay, that it's gonna cost them extra money in association fees, because this has to go to a step further. Okay? For something so simple.
Could you get a video and bring it us? The same video, and that was solve the problem.
you have a.
There's video, and it was spoken here.
Yeah,
And it was spoken here.
But bring
The
that
video,
proof.
bring it to us.
That's your proof.
Okay.
I don't have a video.
Okay,
You guys have a
no.
video.
You have access to
You
the
have access
website.
to it. So do you have any other question? Because we can bring on your proof. Once you bring your proof, we look at it, and if it's good, we move forward. So do you have the proof? So do you have any additional question besides that?
I'm asking you guys, can we come up with a resolution?
The thing is,
Excuse me. You say you don't have no more questions.
I'm
Do you have any
asking, I'm
questions?
still asking.
No, we are not entertaining
access in and out.
That's exactly
With their
what the
boats.
attorney said, that's why I
Would
didn't.
you explain that to, for him just to be?
What's your name, I'm sorry, sir?
Jose.
Jose.
Just explain what you do.
I wanted to get a permit so that people could bring in their boat for like 2, 3, 4 hours and fill it up with ice and.
Yeah, get it ready, get it ready.
An RV, the same thing, they could bring it in for a limited amount of time, you know, and then have the form.
Yeah, get it
report
ready.
back to the guards, and he signs off at what time they came back in. But the attorney says because it's not in the documents, we can't do that.
But it's not in the documents against letting them come in and out. And then there was a rule put in place to security to not allow anybody with a boat or a trailer or an RV
Once
to
the,
come into the property.
once the attorney said that we're not allowed to do that, if you go back to your HOA rules, it clearly states that no boats or trailers are allowed to come into the property.
No, it says not allowed to be stored. It doesn't say that they're not allowed to come in and out.
The word is parked. No, and parked is, if you can't park it, where you're coming in from. What are you coming in? You have to park it somewhere. You're gonna just drive it around in the community? Then you ruin our streets for no
It doesn't
reason.
say park, it says storage. It says storage right here. It doesn't say parked, it says storage.
There's nowhere there say that you can't park it.
It says
Rebuild it,
storage.
rebuild it.
It says
Maybe
storage.
one part is storage, but there's another, that's why.
Yeah, there's a park there. I know there's a park. There's no park there.
Listen, I'm just trying to get an easy resolution. The West, and I know it's two different associations, the West, they came up with a resolution for their people that had the boats, and they came out with a permit, and they came out with temporary tags on who can keep it and who not. And it didn't cost them any extra money because they resolved it in-house. Okay. Now, we're talking about documents that we're spending $45,000
Thank you.
on this, and the budget was $25,000, and we already looks like we're spending excess of what we have budgeted for. Now, if we go into a mediation and then into attorney's fees, it's not gonna cost me a dime because my brother's the one representing me, Andrew Demus. So I'd rather settle it here and not cost anybody here any extra money. Because at the end, on the long run, everybody's gonna be paying extra association fees.
Conclude yourself. Conclude yourself.
Huh?
Conclude yourself.
Including myself,
Okay.
including myself.
And we understand that. We clear on that. That's why
Including
we,
myself.
that's
So that's what I'm
why.
trying to see.
Okay.
If we resolve it now, if we resolve this as fast as possible,
Just
okay?
bring the video.
I haven't been able to enjoy it, my family has not been able to enjoy this all summer,
Why?
because we can't touch the boat, we can't move it. If we move the boat out of the property, it won't be able to be allowed back in. So the boat has,
First of all, it should have never been allowed.
it's been here for 3 years.
Unfortunately, I cannot answer for the past administrations. I'm just going by the common laws, and that, I'm not an attorney, so all I can tell you is, I gotta go by that.
You-
Now, in this event, you have an attorney.
According to
so-
laws, you can't just selectively enforce.
Exactly.
If they've been coming in and out, and like I was coming in and out for 3 years,
I was just gonna get to that point.
and now they start selecting enforcing
No,
now.
we're not doing any selective enforcement. That's the first thing we're not doing here. I'm the manager, and we're not doing it. No boats or RV campers will be allowed into this property. You do take your boat
It
out.
was done for 3 years.
Again, whatever happened in the past, I was not here.
Right now, it's selective enforcement, because
Yeah.
in the past it was allowed.
Sir, no, you're talking about apples and pears. But we're not gonna get into any discussion, because first of all, I'm not an attorney. I'm just following what the conduct law says. You have an attorney, have the attorney come forward, bring us whatever paperwork, get the videos like they told you, find the video where they approve of you being able to park your boat in your backyard, and the issue is solved. But if we allow you, and I don't mean you in a bad way, to park your boat in the backyard, everybody else has the same right.
Exactly.
So what's gonna
I
happen?
don't see no
So
problem with that.
that is your opinion, but people, a lot
When
of
you
people
bought the
here.
house, you knew that in the documents that you could not park a boat on the property.
Exactly. When you bought the property, those conduct were handed to you and says, here, read it. Because these are the rules and regulations of the association. Now, you bought the boat knowing that you cannot have the boat
And
there.
there was no rules and regulations when I bought the boat.
Sir, the rules have always been there, that they were not followed prior to the prior administrations. I have really nothing to do with it.
But it's part of my whole deal. I know
You can go back, and you can
But it
file.
does affect this.
Okay, you can go back and file with the previous administration.
And Luis, I understand your conversation, it's nice, but you all need to continue after the meeting.
Okay.
So.
So we'll continue.
we need-
Next question.
We need to move on. You have a
My
question?
fence?
Your fence. He had the same question about solar, and we spoke with Evian. I'm talking about, same question about, he didn't have the car tow, but he wanted to know, he wanted to be very clear, but they said he bought this lot right up to the,
Okay, what is your address?
8230 Northwest
8230 Northwest.
199th Street.
Okay.
And I gave
I'm
you guys a
assuming you signed
copy.
in?
yeah, he gave,
Yeah.
he gave.
And I gave you a copy of the survey.
Okay.
And if they're supposed to get back, I guess, well, he's here, so he'll be understanding.
Okay, I will definitely look into that. I was not aware of this issue.
Could you get back to them?
I definitely will. Did you sign in? Here, let me have your name and number, please.
Carlos Tamago,
Carlos
3
Tamago,
305
305
733
733.
1029.
All right, give me a day or two, and I will definitely look into it, and I
I'm
will
in
get
no
back to you.
hurry. As long as I don't get fined, I'm in no hurry.
I'll make a note of it while I'm looking into your case, and I will give you an answer. Give me a couple of days, okay? Next, oh,
One more. Finance committee.
Huh?
The finance committee.
He's working on that.
yes.
He's
So
working
am I
on
still in it or not?
that. You are, but he's working on
I'm
it.
glad you came, because I didn't even know anybody in the fine committees.
Yeah, that's still a committee, but there's some issues that he's clearing up, and then he will send you all the information.
Okay, and one last. There was a change to the condominium laws that was recently passed.
Condo or
Condos,
owners.
HOAs.
Whatever.
No, what,
The
you're going.
law that was recently passed
Uh,
didn't affect us in any way, shape, or form.
Which one?
If you're referring to the condo lots, no, it
It's a
doesn't.
condo, that's a
If you're
different,
referring to HOAs.
it's a condo, yeah.
Okay, so it didn't affect the HOA?
No.
That was my.
You're talking about two different animals, right?
Just want to make sure.
Anything else?
Just, no, but just a couple of things. Which law with regards to condo you're referring to?
There was a change.
We need they made, the DPPR and the state of Florida, made a changes in the condominium laws. Some of the changes include the fact that, with regards to elections, the way the elections are supposed to be done, they changed that. They're making the manager or the management company and the directors responsible for any type of fraud in the elections. In this case, it will be penalties. They will be actually given penalty. Up to now, we just like, don't do it again. But now they will. There also changes, some of the,
When's the next election?
next election.
December.
December?
Okay. They also change the board members, the time that they could be directors. I think it's after a period of, I think it's 6 or 8 years. 8 years.
8 years.
They cannot become, they need to step down and let someone else take over. They're also making the management companies and the directors cannot have any type of, for example, let's say you're a director and you have your brother or your cousin has a landscaping company. We cannot hire your landscaping company because that would be a conflict of interest. Another change was done on the,
That's coming right up.
you cannot purchase, in other words, the management company cannot purchase anything for the community. In this case, have to be through petty cash, and checks have to be written. The other one is, trying to remember, because there were quite a few changes. But that
And
referred
you can
mostly,
go to the state of Florida and look for the chapters and read all the changes.
Yeah,
No, no problem.
Yeah.
And a question for you. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay. Just for you to clarify, you mentioned before something about fines, that the first one, this happened, the second one, if you can clarify, because I don't understand.
if you read your comment box, it states that in the event that a violation is created against, let's say, your property, your first fine towards that violation that you did not correct within the period of time that was given to you. It will be what your first month of HO payments.
Okay.
In the event that you don't cure that same violation, when you get a second one stating that you have not cured this one, you already had a fine for your first violation here. Your second violation will consist of 2 months.
So that was 3. The first one plus the 2. That's 2.
And then the third violation will be 3 months of plus whatever you already have. That's how it works. It is in your bundle box.
Is that how we are, what we are implementing?
Yes, we are going to be implementing that, and he's going to be the person in charge of. You're looking at me.
That's the question. Is that what we are implementing?
Yes.
That's what we are implementing.
It's not currently in place, that's what we are
No,
doing.
it is.
no.
It is already.
Well, it is no, because they made the adjustment. Yes.
It is.
But, and that's why they have not made any meetings, fines meetings, because all of that need to be clear with the adjustment, and then he would be able to give you all something and also sit down with you, all,
Right.
talk to you before.
And then we're also waiting for the attorney, right? You need to send us exactly how. He did?
He did.
He did already? Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to have that.
Yeah.
Does the board have any flexibility with regards to those fines? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not the board,
So,
the committee.
fine committee.
Yeah, because that seems kind of like,
The fine committee, yeah.
But
Wait a minute, I'm not the only one.
You need to understand something. You need to understand something. When you get your first violation, you have approximately 30 days to correct such violation. In the event you can't correct it for any reason, all you need to do is send me an email. It says, listen, I got this violation, I'd like to have an extension. We will give you an extension for 30 days, so that was 60 days. Now, at that time, if you ask for another extension, then I will need to think about that and need to talk to the committee, because we're not going to be giving extensions every 30 days for a year. So if it's something reasonable, yes, they would work with you. But at the end, the violation needs to be corrected. But as long as you keep in touch with the office, with us, you're not going to have a problem, because every time you call me, and what I ask from you is send me an email, because phone calls have a tendency of forgetting. What I do is whenever emails that I got, it will go into your file that I created already, and it goes into our system that I got a call from so-and-so requesting a 30-day extension on this violation. So you automatically, tomorrow something happens, and we can go into our system, and our system will bring it up. Or if you call the office tomorrow and say, listen, I'm so-and-so, I just got a second violation, they can also check to make sure that it is input in the system that you already contact us and you requested a second extension on the same violation, not on another one. If you get 3 violations, you need to request for the 3 of them. I got some property, example, roof needs to be pressure cleaned, house needs to be painted, driveway needs to be repaired, things like that. You're not going to get one including all 3. You're going to get 3 different ones, because that way we'll give you time to at least work on one, then the other 2 will be open, and you can ask for an extension, and that way we can work. But eventually, if you pass an extension, it's not going to be given to you.
thank you, sir.
One last thing, the ACC form that I put in for my driveway, for framing it, was it approved?
Yeah. I think, no, I called you, didn't I call you? Oh, wait a minute. I believe so, I checked them, I have them right now, when we close the meeting, I'll look for them. Okay, any other questions? Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second.
Motion
I have a
by, second by Richard, all of those in favor?